In this video, I'm going to show you how trying to attract love is actually what is energetically blocking it from coming into your life. I'm going to show you how to switch around the energy so that it comes to you easier than ever. Now, the first thing to mention with this is when it comes to magnetic energy or having what is called the magnetic frame, based on the energy we are feeling inside of our bodies, that feeling is emanating out and other people are feeling that. So when we talk about trying to attract love, if we are feeling like we don't have love and we aren't happy about that, so we're feeling resistance about that, then we're putting out resistant energy that is literally blocking that which we are wanting to come into our life. Now, the interesting thing about this too, is have you ever noticed that the more you try to do anything, the more you end up blocking that thing from coming into your life? This is something that's called the backwards law. It comes from Alan Watts, who's a famous philosopher. And think about it. The more you try to fall asleep, the harder it is to fall asleep. It's only when you let go, and it's almost like not important, it's not on a pedestal for you to fall asleep, that you just naturally fall asleep. If you're trying to not reach the bottom of a pool, desperately trying, you'll find that the more you try, the harder or the more you sink. However, a lot of times if you just relax, you can float. It's interesting, but the more we try to control things in our life, the more we have these nuances of what's okay, what's not okay for us to feel safe, and the more we have these rules of what should or shouldn't happen, the more out of control we will feel. But the less we need to control things and the more we accept the unknown, the more safe we feel and the more confident we feel, the more certain we actually feel. Now, the backwards law is simply that the opposite is actually what is true. Now, the more we want someone to like us, the more our energy is going to be all messed up because we're trying to get them to like us, and the less they're actually going to like us because the more we want them, the more we're trying to be different than we naturally are. But the more we don't care if they like us or not, the more they will actually feel inclined to like us. Isn't that interesting? This is just a game of energy. And trying to attract love is emphasizing that there's not love already there. I've seen it happen so many times where people let go of even trying to attract love. They just let go of it and they focus on their own life. And it's like then things actually start to happen. It's like they stop looking and then they naturally are. And think about it. Think about love as like a radio dial. You must tune to the station of the reality you want to experience. And if 95.5, which was I think country music back in Vegas, which is where I'm from. Can't be on the country music station expecting to listen to hip hop and rap. And if the 95.5 is the station that says, I want love, I want love, I want love, it's also emphasizing I lack love, I lack love, I lack love. And it can't perceive what's on 111.1 FM, which is you being in a relationship. You can't tune, if you're tuned to 95.5, which is I want love, I want love, I want love, I'm trying, which emphasizes I lack it, I lack it, I lack it. You can't perceive what's on 111.1, which is, it's natural and a part of my identity to be in this love vibration. You see, they're two different realities. Now, how do you tune to 111.1 synchronicity? How do we tune to that reality? Well, remember, the magnetic frame, this is about how you feel about you, and the key to this is feeling the self-love on the inside and letting go of the energy that's causing it to be trying energy. A lot of times this means letting go of neediness. You can also say the degree to which you are magnetic is the degree to which you are not needy. Needy energy, if you need to attract love or you really even desire it, it's coming from a place of lack. Now, neediness is when we place someone else's energy and someone else's validation and someone's thoughts, when we place that above our own and we make what they think and feel more valuable than what we think and feel. That's when needy energy is active. So neediness is putting more energy and stock in what someone else thinks and feels about you than what you think and feel about you. Now that repels love. That's when we're trying to attract love, is normally coming from a needy place. But if we were to look and begin to embody non-needy energy means that there's a realization that the other person's love, validation, support isn't going to fill up your cup and make you whole and complete. You're already whole. It's realizing that what you think and feel matters more, and you can decide what actually you internalize. And normally what this also means is you get to the core, which is the unmet childhood needs. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get our needs met from childhood that weren't met. We're trying to close the loop. So we're trying to attract somebody into our life. Normally also something called an Imago that we project out. An Imago is an idea in psychology where we project the best and worst ideas of our parents, of what we like the most and resist the most about our parents, and we have an Imago that we project onto people that we're dating, and if people don't meet up to that Imago, we may not even be interested. And that's why we tend to attract the same people over and over again, and similar bodies maybe, but similar energy, because we're trying to fill and complete the loop from childhood so that we can heal from our childhood. Now, looking at our unmet childhood needs is important, because if you feel like you didn't get validation, you weren't seen, you weren't heard, you didn't feel safe, then we may keep attracting people that reflect back the same familiar emotions from childhood. But one of the most powerful things about this video in general is learning to embody non-needy energy. And think about this. If you go on a date with someone, are you wondering, oh, I hope they like me. I hope I say the right thing at the right time. I hope they text me back. This is all putting the power at the external. I hope this happens. I hope this happens. I hope this happens. What if you went on a date and you were more like, I wonder if I'm really going to connect with this person. I wonder if I'm really going to like this person. I wonder if this is going to feel, if I'm going to feel safe with this person. Now there's a different question, because now instead of putting them on a pedestal and instead of putting the power outside of you, you're getting more curious about yourself. Now, I recognize that when I wanted to attract love like a couple years ago, and I was trying and I was doing the vision, like all this stuff, it wasn't until I really let go and I started focusing on my own frame. I started like enjoying my life and also enjoying the process. Because if we're trying to control or trying to attract love or whatever, then a lot of times we're focused more on the outcome. And the key is getting more into the present moment and enjoying the process. Now to do this, look at this little concept right here will change your whole perspective on it. Expression is more important than impression. When we're going on a date, we're trying to attract love, we're trying to impress an idea onto someone else. We're trying to impress somebody else so that we get their love, validation, support, whatever. Impression is outcome-based. I'm doing this to get this result. And a lot of times if we focus on impression, we stay in our own heads. Our energy's all weird because we're putting what they think above what we think. Now, the most powerful thing that I've learned is actually to let go of trying to impress, trying to have some type of outcome, and focus instead on expression, expressing the real me. Now, to do that, what that meant and what really made the difference in my whole entire life when it came to attracting love to attract my girlfriend was I focused on vulnerability. Vulnerability. Vulnerability, there's 3 types of vulnerability. And when there's a people pleaser type person, when someone's afraid of what other people think, a lot of times what happens is they hide their own vulnerability because they don't want people to see that, because they're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of abandonment, even though vulnerability is real. So a superpower, and one thing that will really help you to attract love, is actually being vulnerable, not because it's going to get you love, but being vulnerable because it's who you choose to be. Then you're going to attract somebody that really will vibrate and energetically match with you. Now, the 3 types of vulnerability. There is emotional vulnerability. That's you being able to express your true desires and true feelings. For me, that meant actually when I met my girlfriend, telling her and expressing to her that I was attracted to her and I wanted to go on dates with her, not just be friends with her, because we knew each other from Instagram and stuff. And that was vulnerable, expressing those emotions. And even in the relationship, then it was like going through processes of letting go of me, holding back aspects of myself that I was like almost afraid to show emotionally. That's one aspect of it. And it's really refreshing too if you embody that energy when you're dating someone, because it's so much more hidden nowadays. Secondly is physical vulnerability. This meant actually not being afraid to touch somebody else and to be like in that touchy-feely energy and more flirtatious. It can be very attractive, very magnetic, especially when it's receptive. Got to be emotionally or physically attuned, but that was something that was also a game changer. And then thirdly is social vulnerability. That means the ability to like walk up to somebody in a social environment and ask them out or engage with them. Not afraid of what other people think. So vulnerability means that you could get rejected, but it's not being afraid of the abandonment wound that's there and realizing you can only reject yourself. It's if you value other people's thoughts and emotions over yourself. So vulnerability, social, physical, and emotional vulnerability is a game changer when it comes to trying to attract love. But remember, when you start to show more of your heart, you start to open up, you allow other opportunities to come through. You allow yourself to be the most bold version of you, and that's a way of opening up your own heart. Opening up your own heart, because as you do that, it changes absolutely everything, and the energy changes, and people can feel that energy. So people feel what you feel, and when you embody that energy, other people feel it coming off of you. Now, something I'm going to be doing soon as well is I'm answering questions to people that text me. So if you text me your questions to 424-304-0104, text me your questions. I'm going to be replying in that of videos. You can also click the link below. And then also there's a video right here that's one of the #1 manifesting love secrets that change everything. Watch this video and watch how much your life changes. Attracting love is not something that we attract. It is something that is reflected. It is reflected back to us depending on how much inner self-love we feel.